Hi guys, Stern-Brady here. We're still looking at the Beatitudes, and one thing that has struck me about all of the messages in this series and all of the devotions and reading them again is that this is a wonderful, beautiful, but costly way to live. This is not cheap or easy. The person who decides to be a follower of Jesus Christ is going to have some skin in the game with regard to the way they show up and love their world. And I find these really interesting parallels between the Beatitudes and 1 Corinthians 13. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you've been to a wedding or two and you've heard this chapter. And we oftentimes kind of contextualize it in romantic relationships, but really this is just the way we live as followers of Jesus with everyone. This is the way we're called to show up. And so I'm just looking at one scripture today, kind of in line with Pastor Ben's message this weekend about blessed are the meek and the gentle. I mean, not words that we think are super sexy sounding, not words that we usually ascribe to people, but still a part of the core value of Jesus for the way he wants us to live. So 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. And when I look at those words, I just think every one of them, if I'm going to live that out in my world, every one of those words will eventually cost me something. If I decide I'm going to be kind, sometimes it's easy and people inspire kindness, but eventually it'll be hard. Patience, eventually it's going to be hard. I almost never like to be patient, actually. I'm not good at grocery store lines and stuff. But patience, kindness, gentleness, humility, these kinds of things, these are the characteristics of someone who doesn't just believe in Jesus, but follows Jesus. These are the characteristics that become formed in us as our minds are set on his way. As we adopt not just his name, not just the name Christian, but the way of Jesus, this is what it looks like. And I'll eventually run into a moment in my marriage, in my workplace, in my online life, in my world, where I have to decide, am I willing to pay the price to live like an honest to goodness follower and not just a believer? Am I willing to lay down my right to be right? Am I willing to change the way I might say something? Am I willing to choose kindness over anger? Am I willing to choose patience over honking my horn at a stop sign? Am I willing to not just say I believe, but to actually step in and live it out? This is the living it out. And really this whole series on the Beatitudes is all living it out. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like to be a follower. I was thinking this morning about a story in 2 Samuel, I think it's 24, where there's a plague has come on Israel because of David's sin, and David needs to offer a sacrifice to God. And so he goes to a man and he says, I want to buy your threshing floor and your oxen in order to offer a sacrifice. And the man says, oh, no, you're the king. I'm going to give it to you. You can just have it. I mean, I'm sure he also wants the plague to stop. And David responds to him and says, I won't offer God something that costs me nothing. And I feel that in my life today. I don't want to take the cheap, easy way out. I don't want to offer God some kind of love that hasn't cost me. I want to offer God a true investment in the people that he loves. I want to join him in laying my life down. I'm not pretending it's easy. I just think it's right. And I do think it's worth it. And we may not know how worth it is on this side of eternity, but eventually we're going to know what all this investment of kindness and patience and humility, really what that's creating in our world and what it's creating in us that will last into the halls of eternity. So that's today. Loving this series. Can't wait to see what's next. Thanks for showing up.